She felt like she was going crazy. 17 years old, about to have a baby. Her baby's daddy's got on the bars. Drug possession, woman, drugs, and felony charge. She just turned 18, looking at a stretch of five. They hit the prison block, running if he was alive. Meanwhile, this baby mama kicked up out the family house. A cold world inside the blouse. We got the lights, it's just strong. It's 9/11 and I hope it's really going on. But what happens soon? Pulling up a 7 in my mind. I put going round, baby, you was just a 7. I got the black what my people at, can you say to me? I said, anyway, we come on shot me, no one your sunshine. What's up, y'all? What is this road? We keep on moving. Even trying to flow, the world keeps on spinning. Abstract to lose the dark. Circulation of imagination to know thyself. What's up, y'all? My name is Taj, and I work at Willard Alternative High School, and I feel honored to be recognized. And the other day I was telling the kids, I said, if you see my hat down like that means I'm vulnerable, and I'm trying to tuck my and then I said, if you see my hat down like that, and you see my scarf wrapped around my shot, I'm a little bit more vulnerable. So I'm gonna ask y'all, is it all right for me to be vulnerable? Is it all right for me to be vulnerable? One more time, is it all right for me to be vulnerable here at the Poetry Slam? Okay. Good to see you all tonight. So we have 16 poets right here. 4 rounds. 16 poets come up. I pull out of here. Each poet comes up. We have a judge table over here. Judges are judging on delivery, content, and audience participation. So if you hear a poet that you really like, please give some encouragement. This is the time for you to actually expand your comfort zone, which I will do right now and start to become a little bit more abrasive of my vulnerability and be up here. So if you feel a poet's words, please speak up. So poems are 3 minutes. So if a poet goes over the 3-minute mark, then Ann, who's being Ann here tonight, Ann, raise your hand. She's going to stand up, and then for every 15 seconds that a poet goes over, there'll be a 0.25 deduction on points. So once again, 4 rounds. First round, 16 poets. Second round, 8 poets. Third round, 4 poets. Fourth round, 2 poets with a winner. The winner gets $100 from the Montana Book Festival. Give it up for the Book Festival. And the second prize gets $50. So I want to make sure, because every year I always, like, in my mind, miss something, and then about halfway through, like, the first round, I'm like, oh, shit. I forgot to tell poets that they can't go past 3 minutes. And then there's poets up there, and then I'm trying to, like, jump up and down. The reason we do the 3-minute mark is because there's a lot of poems here tonight. So, and we want to basically condense this poetic, floetic experience into a 2-hour moment. So, we're going to just open this right up. Did I forget anything? Huh?
How many points back?
10. So you've got 5 judges here, 4 judges. The judges are going to judge, and then the tally is going to go over to Nate, and Nate's going to tally them up and divide them by 4, and then he's going to give me the score, and then after the next poet goes, then I'm going to give the score for the previous poet. Any other questions? Burning questions? Love you too. Okay, so now we're going to open this up to introduce what transpires. We have what's called the sacrificial piece. So, the sacrificial piece This evening, trying to get my announcer voice on, this evening, please give it up for Jamie Morton. Once again, this is the sacrificial piece. He's going to show us how we get down. Judges are going to show where we're at, and here we go without further ado.
Some things you need to know before dating me. 1, there's a strong chance I'm only talking to you because I have reason to believe you might be a Libra. 2, your last partner was an Aquarius, and I swear I'm not holding this against you. 3, sometimes I feel like all the pigeons trapped inside of all the subway tunnels in all the major cities of America. 4, whoa, excuse me, I am not new agey, I am a frickin' witch. 5, I keep rose quartz in my left pocket for when I'm scared, black tourmaline in my right in case of haters. 6, sometimes I open up Grindr in my phone, and if I haven't received a new dick pic that day, I get kind of sad. 7, today my therapist led me in a breathing exercise, and when I exhaled, I suddenly remembered that I'm inside an actual human body, and this terrified me so much that I burst into tears right in front of her and then canceled all future appointments. 8, I have a PhD in talking to the trees at night. 9, my job skills include living alone on a farm and asking horses to make my decisions for me. 10, I like long walks on the beach directly into the bottom of the ocean. 11, all I ever did my whole life was Indiana Jones, one misery for another. 12, one of the worst things you can do to me is tell me there was nothing wrong because I seemed so happy. 13, yes, I know I'm a chicken nugget made of crazy. 14, sometimes I let my phone die and I envy it. 15, this morning I woke up at 3 a.m., scarfed down in a whole bag of Swedish fish, and then passed right back out again. 16, I'm not sure how much longer I can do this. 17, despite my best efforts, I am real. 18, do you dare try and figure me out? Too many people have said they could read me like a book, and then they went and put me on a shelf. 19. After the doctors prescribed me Prozac, I suddenly didn't need to sleep anymore. I remember getting out of bed every day before the sunrise, grinding my teeth, scrambling to correct a whole year's worth of unfixed problems. I knew it was mania because I signed up for a gym membership. It wasn't me. Dancing down Mass Ave, blasting death grips in my headphones, grinning at nothing for no reason. It scared me. 20. Now that I'm not on Prozac anymore, my bed is once again a black hole that I cannot climb out of. It took me months to be here right now in front of all of you. But I can feel myself craving for that rush again. It's too dangerous for someone like me to know that kind of speed. All that lightning trapped in my mouth. I promise you every day I am trying to teach my tongue how to forget it.
Give it up for Jamie one more time here. So now we're going to roll right into it. And as you see after the next poet, we'll get the score and you'll see how to follow as we roll. So I have put all the names into the beer container, which is mass and volume, pitcher container of things that hold. So the first poet coming to the stage, give it up for Dylan McCaffey.
Outmoded ways need to update the face of truth, not erase you and me. We can pace deceptions with humanity, taste being when we can be together, never sever ties to the center. Harmonies saved with open to her moments, Mother Earth, Father Sky, and the bones of the old. Ancestors are golden, folding cranes and remolding solid foundations of loving boldly. Never sold, upright and cold, vibrating with rolled, standing wave skin, pinning down all abuses so real humans can live and give to the music. New create when we mold it. No production line, 'cause we draw the lines. No upset, 'cause it's fine to be kind. And giving is the only thing we see what's alive inside and confide in universal mind to show truth in me and you, and prove sharing is a virtue of youthful loving. Till the grave we stay stunning, bright like a bunny. I hop hot 'cause I'm sunny, shine my rays and I'm always love, nothing like money.
Give it up for Dylan. Coming to the stage, give it up for Alina Wakeman. Alana, excuse me. I might do that quite frequently throughout the night. I work at Willard Alternative High School, and I said to the student body that I learn all names by the end of October, so I go up uncomfortably to students saying, what does your name start with? Give it up.
Hi, everyone. This poem is called Here's to You. Here's to your place. Here's to where I belong. Here's to your distance and my will to carry on. Here's to your mind, turning like a dime. Your head, your tail, your head, your tail, your head, driving it all, making us fall head first into what we thought would be perfect. But no, I've learned once again how far from perfect it will always be. Here's to your vacant kisses and your careless voice, your stares that say nothing and our silent car rides in the night. Here's to you always walking 2 steps ahead. Here's to sleeping on the floor instead of my bed. Here's to wanting to watch a movie instead. Here's to you. I found your hairs on my pillow. They're from that last night you couldn't stop kissing me and I couldn't stop being shocked. Now your hairs are on my pillow, 2-inch straight hairs like a dog. I picked them up one by one. They're really brown, not black, and so straight, like you wish your life could be, straight shot to the top with someone by your side, shooting along with hairs like yours and a straightforwardness that I lost sometime after the first time I said I love you, and you didn't say it back. Here's to the doubts and the false starts and the false endings and the false hopes. Here's to words taken back, words never said, doors closed on questions, phones hung up on frustrations, our attempts at a relationship, and how it always sank eventually. I look forward to the day when love doesn't feel like walking on eggshells or ice, and that love will continue into the morning and into the next day and into the next night and the next. I look forward to the day when my life doesn't feel like a soap opera, where I don't deliver monologues from some play called If You Love Me, Answer My Questions, and desire to throw the stuffed animal penguin you gave me after you let the door slam on your silence. Tell me where to get off. I miss my stop over and over and over again and hope that you still need me or we still have something to give, something more than the toothbrush you left in my room. I'm going to keep it, actually, like a medal of honor, so that I can prove that I survived the war and gave something to it that I'll never get back, but I hope that I am better for. So here's to you and me and everything in between. Here's to everything I wanted and you wanted and everything we couldn't be. Here's to everything we dreamed of and hoped for and thought we'd found. Here's to not being able to finish this poem because I don't know what I'm left with or what I hope for or what it all means or what it really means to love anymore. Here's to all the things that make me think of you. Here's to the next time I'll be kissed and how I'll compare it to you. Here's to my next boyfriend and how funny he'll have to be to outdo you. Here's to you.
Give it up for Elena. I feel better. I changed into my moccasins. My goddaughter called them mockamucks. Coming to the stage. Put your hands together for Jack Michaels.
Howdy ho. This piece is an excerpt from a longer one, promptly titled For My Mother. You were raised by a woman who made the clean white walls of your house resemble those of a prison cell more than they resembled the walls of a home. A woman who would hit you more often than she would hug you. A woman who would scream at you more often than she would say your name. Fast forward a few decades, and you're living in a house so decrepit that it should have been condemned years before you even moved in. But it's the finest thing that $400 a month of child support can afford. Your youngest can't find it in himself to love himself. Your middle child has been stealing food, not from others, but from the family, because she's afraid of the next night that she might go to bed hungry. Your oldest is fighting with you more and more, and you don't know why. So you cry. You cry because you're tired. You cry because you're upset. You're upset because you're tired of stretching every penny till they transform from circles to ovals, ovals to lines, lines that try to bridge the connection between two checks. But you never know how long those lines have to be, because you never know when the next time that bastard will refuse to send a child support check. Fast forward a few more years, and you know why your oldest has been fighting with you. He hears voices, in particular, the voice of that bastard who hit him. Because what you didn't know is when you were married, while you were at work supporting your family, that bastard would strike your children. So you cry. You cry because you're upset. Because your oldest can't function in society. Nowadays, you're still tired. But you don't cry anymore. Occasionally, I will hear you mumbling to yourself. When I ask you about it, you tell me it's nothing. But when I press the issue, you tell me that you're praying to find the strength to carry on. Sure enough, you always find it. So maybe there's something to that. So I'll pray. I'll pray that one day I'll become successful so that I can give you the luxuries in your old age that you deserve, that I can point to my accomplishments one day and say that they are as much a fruit of your labor as they are of mine. I pray that these few stupid words are enough to say thank you.
Governments have been silencing poets' voices for thousands of years. Cries and tears, battle cries over the years held from silence. Scores checking in. Dylan McCarthy, 8.5. Elena, 7.625. Elena, love, walking on eggshells or ice while they hit me. Coming to the stage, give it up for Katrina.
So, this is kind of how I roll. Sorry I didn't put this up here sooner, but I tend to be late everywhere I go. And my husband, bless his heart. I tend to work well under pressure, I've realized, with every poetry slam, because I feel this great urge to write at the last possible second. And sometimes I finish pieces, which is the one I'm going to present, and this is a little tidbit of a reflection on my life. As I grew up, my freckles slowly fell off. I would find them in the garden and under the edge of the horse's trough. I would find them in my rolled up sleeves in the rushing creeks and the aspen trees. I would find them in the tack shed under saddles and grain, on the wooden fence where an old wire left a rusty stain. I would find them in tall grass. And then summer lovers and seasons passed. On the backside of a snowmelt on a warm spring day, a few pale freckles amongst the pine cones lay. Until I had almost forgotten that they had ever been there. My cheeks became a young woman's hardened gaze and tightrope stare. 40 hours a week stuck in a chair to learn how to spend 40 hours in a chair, I guess. What a mess. The further I got from my freckles, the more bleached my soul felt. The promise of the working class hastened to a nasty welt. And nothing seems more dangerous than when you stop caring. The craggy peaks of concrete streets lend themselves to the wearing down of young spirits who spend most of their days under open sky. We knew we'd get hurt, but we got hurt trying. And it took so long to get home that you'd probably stop crying. And none of us really wanted to go inside bad enough to complain about a bruised knee or a little sprain. We learned how to take a self-inflicted beating and chin up through a little pain. Where once the dappled freckles splashed became a thick layer of makeup, dark liner around the eyes every morning upon wake-up, clothing that could distract even the most studious pupil, pulling tightly around lymph nodes without any scruple. Fashion over function, because there was no more function, irretrievably lost at one of those junctions where you realize that peers can be more powerful than nature was. At least you thought that was the truth, all because those 40 hours spent sitting still had no trees to climb or earth to till. Spring water was drowned by Coca-Cola, the quiet walks home taken by Motorola, and I think I knew that I was missing a thinger. But the loudness inside rang, and I just turned up the ringer. Until the chatter of gears on grease grinding in my head unleashed a beast whose promises, like the gnashing of teeth, left me somewhat dead. Until one day, while I was fumbling through myself, searching for something, and there it was, this little flicker of nothing. This little speck on the crease of my existence, a flicker of hope without any resistance to the way I had become. The ideas forced on me, dividing my sum, until this little flicker appeared and I began to hum a song so deep and so old and so sacred. This little speck of love under hatred. And my freckles began to come back to me, a flat platform to hold my family. They each had a story that had been collected, years of trying to find me, in others' faces and been rejected. Freckles must have ears. I think they finally heard my song, one that went a little like this. Enough! Yes, I was angry. I had been yet another product of the factory system, the 19th century bullshit where my heart had been turned into a piston to drive forward a machine so reckless and mean. I was being built to suit, and to much travail. I wanted only to live and to set free and make bail. I wanted to learn, not be corrected. I wanted to love and find what is sacred, those tiny splashes of childhood youth, conquered by desk, by silence, by booth. All of those freckles had worn down to nothing, but like a child, they were full of promise and haunting. They had rubbed against everything and prevailed. They had succeeded while I had failed. I clutched them like an 8-year-old's bicycle grips and could feel the worn corners for so many trips around the sun, to where we have become, both the freckles and I, a million stories later and starting to cry. The tears ran recklessly over skin that was frecklessly washing away foundations, until there were again freckles with spaces between them, just enough to start over. You can regrow if you're a grower, the way that grass does under a lawnmower. When I find a freckle on a tattered step or a worn-down branch that the tree had kept, I put them on a shelf above where I do my writing, so that I can hear their stories, and I have someone for citing.
Jack Michaels, 8.375. Are y'all ready to hear some more poetry? Yes, sir. Are y'all ready to hear some more poetry? Yes, sir. Coming to the stage, put your hands together for Brady Berkelson.
All right, check. So, I'm not afraid of any of you, so I'm going to stand up here. And so I've just got to say, there's been a lot of good poetry tonight, but nobody's really done a slam. So here's a slam for all of you right now. Fuck everything that's already been said. Anything crude or offbeat or crassful, because honestly, I feel like Tom Kenyon's head looks unmistakably like an asshole. How was I supposed to know that my childhood friend would morph into something grotesquely awesome? When he grew up, his head bloomed up into a bald, blooming butthole blossom. But not any rectum neck connects with the rhinestones of his Get 'em Some shirt. But like methed up porn star, hard anal sex, where a little piece of the butthole goes blurt. You have to see it to understand, so that you could. Shit. You just have to see it to understand, so that your opinion could weigh in. That I'm just not saying this bullshit offhand. It fucking looks like an asshole. I'm just saying.
Give it up for Brady. Always being true to himself and bringing it. Katrina, 7.75. So what if the world was just a holographic simulation and consciousness was like way beyond imagination? Coming to the stage, put your hands together for Josh Amstead. Am still. One more time, put your hands together for Josh.
All right, that seems good. Well, I'm shy, so I have to read. This is called The Four Pillars. The first one's drugs and culture. All right, well, drugs make the culture, but tell me, what am I supposed to nurture? I nearly joined the chorus of the streets. You can hear it in the airwaves of the nearest park near the river's beach. It's spoken in rhythm by screaming teens wearing rags and bandanas on their crown, as their crowns. Although they are no king nor queen, they rattle their hands and make a public speech. They'll come to you and they'll ask you to join in their song. Come with us into bliss. You won't be remiss. We got all you can need. Boomers for your shroomers, green grasses for the massed, acid, pills for those who need to feel ill, and if you find yourself in need, we'll help you do the dirty deed. But I'll tell you, never join the chorus of the streets. Don't sing with them as I did well into tomorrow's reach. You'll find yourself falling into a lack of wealth, a cold twinkling light as it falls lacking any might of will. No wishes you can fulfill. No wishes can be made as you fall into a mental mirror of defeat and self-destruction, muttering lack of speech, never to once again meet a falling streak of beaten feet.
Mama always said that birds of a feather be flocking together to be a leader, not a follower in your endeavors. Finds life's gifts and the purpose, let it shine. Haters keep you stagnant, gotta leave them right behind. In the sandbox, the games people play, I'm not trying to hear it, no time for it anyway. This is the 7th year that I've hosted the annual festival, the Book Poetry, the Slam, or now the Montana Book Festival. 7 years. Brady Bergelson 7.0. Coming to the stage, put your hands together for Ethan Long Bonk Newcomb.
Hello, everybody.
Yes! Is that loud?
All right.
I came from space out of a portal leading back to a land of immortals outside of nowhere, constructed by magic and untainted by logic, wherein is contained all things beautiful. I can stay as long as I please and come and go freely. It exists on a plane of imagination between dimensions that defy conception and define invention. Many times I've been confronted by camouflage tycoons meaning to do me doom while chameleonizing as geniuses. I decoded their intellect, reprogrammed it into comedy, laughed hysterically, paused, pivoted dramatically, and smacked them back to square one. Once I was caught in the eye of the storm with my guard down, completely sidetracked with 1 foot off the merry-go-round when I came face to face with an overpowering demon that plagued me like the fear that exists within the hearts of many men. I was at a loss of manipulation for the situation momentarily. I became suspended in stop-frame animation entirely, and moments turned into eons. I manifested a custom prototype frequency jammer that enabled me to escape the confrontation by fading out of definition to pick up pace into locomotion and fade out into space in a moment's notice. The point of the story is sometimes I get fucked up, stuck in a rut with no possible way out. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen, but I'm okay now. My natural-born name is Long Bong Nukem, but they call me Hyena. I prefer to go by Dracula. I am a hater, assassinator. I assassinate haters. My linguistic is characteristic and optimistic. So to refrain from my impeccable persuasion of telepathic communication, allow me to relay my practice of language to you in your natural dialect as my mouth spews pure intellect. I do not waste words or misuse meaning. I do not confuse lingo or mispronounce anything. I relate with advanced cosmonauts on common ground, as do I reflect sentiments with the strictly earthbound. I make vibrations raise with every phrase. I stun senses with intense sentences and dominate lectures with verbalized architecture. I recite information with sophistication and rhythmic conversations that give birth to tangible manifestations. I captivate imagination and trigger inspiration when provided with divided fascination. My linguistic is cryptic yet simplistic and very futuristic. I'm a globetrotter and I trot around the planet. I stick to the facts and I don't waste time on bullshit interaction. But the next time I catch one of you zombies trying to infiltrate my zone or come into my home being two-faced and fake like talking shit to me through my Rice Krispies, I'm gonna snap, crackle, and fuck you up. And the next cop I see on the street in his uniform being rude to the public is getting fed death fried rice with poison chopsticks. In other words, he's getting beat the fuck down.
Long Bonk Nukem. Give it up for Long Bonk Nukem. I'm sorry to say, but that sounds like a porn name. Coming to the stage. Uh-oh, 2 of them. Better put it back in there. Andrew McKenna.
I'm Drew. What's up?
You got this!
Drew.
Crying is for pussies. So is talking about your feelings. Being conscious is also for pussies. Don't settle your problems with words. That's for children. Settle them with your fists like a real man. Go to church every Sunday, but don't forget to be judge and jury of those around you. And remember that as a man, you must be willing to die for something. So why not make it pride? After all, aside from whatever mouth breathers you got at home, you're number one, and Papa don't take no shit. And when you really give it to him, don't forget to puff up your chest and yell a lot. That way everyone will know who's sheriff in town. And oh, how the women will sweat and yearn for your attention. But you'll be too busy. You got beers to drink, people to hate, and a wife at home that needs discipline. Thank you.
Oh, give it up for Andrew. September 11th, the terror attacks justify sending our troops to war in Iraq and passing new provisions in the Patriot Act? I'd rather watch television. Coming to the stage, put your hands together for Robbie. Way taller. So, it's kind of fun for you guys. I got some new shit for you. All right, I guess that's as it goes. All right, here we go.
Like I wrote this today, so that's why I'm not memorized. 3 minutes! The clock is ticking. But I'm sidetracked by the ripe swollen marks of our veins, lost lines in a gallery of white canvas where the artist keeps drawing the blank. Your very own set designer, perhaps soon fired from making a scene. But for this next trick, I'll try to play the amputee, paying an arm and a leg to go out on a limb, arms held wide, lending a hand to the blind who see eye to eye, the big picture, and even the blinding light. I will embody your unsuspecting eunuch, because let's face it, ball's in my court now. To purport that I know the ropes, biblically, that's not a BDSM joke, to rhythmically give you a fish for the day. I would teach a man to fish, but who needs crippling alcoholism for life? So here's the red pill, so we can get a taste of our own medicine. Here's a shot of strong liquor for when it counts, like during a power outage. You assume you're not alone, even if that's just a shot in the dark. For no man is an island beyond the morbidly obese. No, in the end, we are all the same. Simple pig farmers bringing home the bacon, enmeshed and choking on an idiocracy airing devolved shows bordering American False Idol, and Who Wants to Marry a Somali Pirate? God helps those who help themselves, so they keep helping themselves to more. Even our roid-free Kobos discover that, yeah, beggars can be juicers. We're a world unbalanced. The grass is greener on the other side, but with China's population density, they probably don't even have grass. We all want the best in life, even me. Not because I'm greedy, I think, but because I want to hear the words, well, it's been a pleasure. I wish you all the more of the same. Because nothing is the same. Our world is trembling. More cultural Parkinson's than you can shake a stick at. How do we glue Humpty Dumpty back together? The broken clock is right twice a day, but it's still dead inside. We grease green cogs to keep it turning, spiraling toward the precipice. You can lead a horse to water, but you can make it drown. We are naive crying infants choking on our own baby blues, trapped in our poorly lit burn wards, where beauty is not even skin deep, and sadly, the clock's cogs are ticking.
Give it up for Robbie. So sometimes I'm not the best planner, and I think about things that took place that didn't happen when I think they took place. Or I think I tied down certain things that I didn't tie down, but in retrospect I thought they were tied down. If that makes sense. Sometimes I need to pay attention, so if anybody can lend me $1, I'd be appreciative. Because one thing I forgot to do is get the monitors dialed in. So poets, from now on, you know that you can be right here in the mic and you can be back here in the mic. You can fluctuate and use mic control because I didn't get the monitors rolling. But I'm about to give you some scores. You ready for some scores? Well, Ethan, 9.5. Josh, 8. Katrina, 7.75, and Andrew, 9.75. Coming to the stage, I'll be right back because I left the container with the volume and mass. Now, in the last minute on my pedometer, I've gotten 25 steps. Back here, back over there, and approximately burning 0.32 calories, but who's really counting? Coming to the stage, give it up for Austin Graff.
Okay, this one's from my mom, and it's called Mother Goose. Nursery rhymes were intended to be a way of bringing little girls and boys to sleep. A way to keep the lessons of life intertwined with rhyme so that mothers and fathers could be at peace when the time came for quiet, and so that Humpty Dumpty and a big bad wolf could bring ease to crying eyes. Mother, Mom, maybe it was irony that you gained the nickname Goose long before you had children. Perhaps it was a sign that you would be the queen of comfort when water came to my brother's eyes. Perhaps it was because you realized what pain looked like long before it was your time to. Maybe it was because God knew I'd be diagnosed diabetic. And he knew it wouldn't hold a candle to your rheumatoid arthritis that you were diagnosed with when you were, what, 20? No older than I am now? I don't know how I would deal with being a world-class athlete and be dumped with the kind of thing that would mean I would never dribble a basketball again. Mom, Mother, Goose. Although you may have swollen joints and crooked hands, ask your sons or your husband. To this day, I believe that you can turn anyone a Christian just long enough to say the words, God damn, Mom, take a good look in the mirror. Let this be a nursery rhyme to comfort you. I remember a day when you used to sleep and couldn't get up again, a 20-minute shuffle from the bedroom to the kitchen to cook a full breakfast for 4 baby boys before school. Mom, you need not be whole to be a superhero. For you are more than just body and soul. You did not need to find strength in crooked hands. You learned to adapt when you took up Taekwondo. Maybe breaking boards became a task of using your elbows. Maybe a marathon seemed less daunting when you started taking your first steps. Maybe teaching a fitness class to those less fortunate became a gift that your sharpness could prod others also into movement. Mother, Goose. Maybe when God crafted you as he would with blowing glass, he waited for you to cool just a little too long, and instead of bending, you cracked, you broke, pieces left somewhat shattered, leaving areas that should have been smooth with sharp edges, and honestly, maybe that's better. Maybe this Mother Goose wasn't designed to tell nursery rhymes, and maybe wasn't designed to inspire comfort, but to inspire life, that no matter how broken we may seem, movement is justified, moving on is right. Mother Goose. Here's to you. Here's to conquering that son of a bitch that we've named arthritis. Here's to showing me how unfair life is and what to do when we lose our confidence and how once again to find it. This is your nursery rhyme. And I hope the words are right enough to thank you for your kindness. Here's to many more words. And thank you for reminding me that although life may indeed be hard at times, at least we are not yet lifeless. Your son, Austin.
Give it up for Austin. This brother's got a book coming out here real soon. And all the proceeds, if I'm not mistaken, are going to an orphanage in Mexico, correct? Something like that. My apologies. I might have got that confused with something else. Anyways, am I all right to be vulnerable? Am I all right to make an ass out of myself? Good, I feel better. I just had a drop of anxiety that was there and then left. Because I forgot where I was. But I'm right here, and everyone's here. And the seating, they got a drag show upstairs, so we couldn't get chairs, so we ran across the street to talk to the other bar and went downstairs to ask them for chairs and went in the back, and they didn't have any chairs, so we went to the next place to get other chairs. So we knew that we wanted to get chairs, and then we looked for stumps, and we looked for coolers, and we looked for things in the alley, and we thought that we'd bring some pallets in and stack them up. But then time ran out. Coming to the stage, Robbie with a score of 9.0. Give it up for Robbie. I'm from the zoo where 3 rivers merge to one. West of the Pacific where the salmon start to run. Ravens snatch the crystal, creating stars and sun. Embrace the unknown, the great mystery rep spun. Are y'all ready for some poetry? Put your hands together for Nicole Dunn, the Crow.
Oh, I'm short. Okay. Taking off my glasses so you all disappear. Okay. I remember 3 things from when I was 12 years old that still ring true today, like how I continue to be a vegetarian and Not for the reasons you may think. Oh, she probably has moral issues around killing animals, or is some kind of eco-humanitarian, or maybe she just doesn't like the taste of meat. Well, no, it's really none of those things, because I remember back then not knowing or caring how animals were slaughtered, and at age 12 I was pretty stuck up and self-centered, and no, I didn't falter when it came to enjoying the taste of flesh. It didn't happen either after watching some kind of educational / shocking-esque something or other in school. I became a vegetarian because my cousin did. I gave up because I thought it was cool, and it stuck. Like how some things do, without effort or thought or conviction. It simply became part of my natural lifestyle rhythm. Onward to number 2, which is that next to my husband, my second longest term relationship was when I was 12. I'll give that a second to sink in. His name was Brandon, and our 7th grade posse thought we'd last forever. They called us Barbie and Ken. He's also the only guy I can recall who ever broke up with me. After that, I guess I decided I always had to be the first one to leave. To wrap up with number 3, somehow I knew back then that I never wanted my own natural-born children, and people would say, "Oh, honey, you'll change your mind when that biological clock starts a-ticking." But as far as I can tell, because I'm getting on the later end of baby making, I was right, because I've had the chance, in fact, I've had 2, to bring forth life. And since I always knew what I'd do, it wasn't hard to let him go. I always knew what I'd choose if and when. You see, some things just aren't part of our path's plan, like eating meat or having kids, and sometimes what we think we know changes. We gotta stay open to how with insight life's wisdom ages as we flow along downstream, 'cause in some ways is how it is in our nursery rhyme song. Merrily, merrily, life is but a dream, and sometimes, shoot, that dream is hella strong, but the good news is that how we want to live is in our hands. We could choose fantasy land, or we could choose to wake up. We could see abundance and beauty, or we could see an empty cup, but this moment right here is worth living in the bright of joy, not wasted in the dark of fear, and it's my choice to decide how to be, which is part super great and part super crappy, because when I'm down, I'm feeling unhappy, there ain't no one to blame but me. So check it, the way I figure it is we need to stop complaining and start celebrating the life that we've been living. Because spending our moments wishing things were different is wasting the precious time that we've been given.
Give it up for Nicole. How many of y'all like spaghetti squash? It's that season, isn't it? So my son and I put a squash in the oven, but he didn't see that I put a squash in the oven, so we went out to visit some of our friends, and I was sitting there, and I remembered I had a squash in the oven, so I said, I gotta go, I got a squash in the oven, and we took off, and we drove in the car, and we got home, and I opened up the oven and pulled out the squash, and my son said, well, he didn't say shit. But he said, I thought that was a metaphor. So here's our...
All of the latest features, plus 2 years of Toyota Care no-cost service. There's just one...
This moment's brought to you by Toyota.
See your Northwest Toyota dealer today.
It's a corporate sponsor.
Selection and value. Visit Lithia Toyota.
It was going to be the Carlisle Group, but you know what happened there.
Next Toyota premises covers normal factory scheduled service for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever comes first. See Toyota dealer for details and exclusions. Valid only in the continental United States and Alaska.
Thank you, Toyota. Austin Graff, 9.25. And see, when I said that book, I thought it was Chase, and so I confused it in my mind, but then actually I realized that Austin's got a future book coming out that he doesn't know about yet. But he planted the seed with me, and I planted the seed back with him with mental telepathy, and we started working things out across the room here. So give it up for the book that Austin's going to come out with. Coming to the stage, give it up for... Well, how'd that happen? Was that Austin? Did you do that to me?
So this was Josh, so if somehow I put that back in there. And I'm gonna have to go over here and tally and make sure I wasn't paying attention to something else. But coming to the stage, give it up for Sheldon Tiarano. And please pronunciate that when you come up here, because I didn't do very well doing that. And I even asked what the last name was, knowing that I'd messed it up. So please give it up. Put your hands together. Give it up for Sheldon.
How y'all feeling out there? My name is Sheldon Tenorio, by the way. See, I don't plan on making money. Nah, I'd rather be out of the building, building buildings for my children's children. The seventh generation has me racing. I'm pacing back and forth, looking in the mirrors on the back of the doors because I'm feeling like I'm poor. I want more. I want more of this. But what is this? Can't you see? The situation I'm facing has me pulling on the cages I'm caged in. Let me breathe. Let me breathe. Man, I love my dirt streets. Forget the concrete and the raw streets. Puppies. The concrete jungle taught me the art of being humble. While other people on the mumble trying to burst their bubble, I return to the struggle. And the struggle is this. Don't nobody want to listen to this. Now listen to this. 8 kids, gather round, gather round. Y'all caught up in gold rush, no fun, no funds. Y'all free running, stumbling into drugs and weapons, using Smith & Wessons, no questions. You caught up in oppression. Yeah, you caught up in oppression. But when those clips get to clapping, y'all ass backwards, and I'm aiming at you. The blast master, hit him with the image the mind capture. Master, a ceremony, if you need be, a category for the lessons I teach. And no pitch, man, I walk this life full stride and strive for higher purpose. It burns heat like the furnace and deep through my epidermis to show y'all that I'm bad to the bone. And instead of chasing thrones or riches, I'm inching to live life so that I can both gain and spread this wisdom I'm fixing. A cataclysmic shift in the choices we make and the actions we take. And I'll pray for y'all's sake, for the strength to break chains and unwash your brains. For my pain, for my pain, for my pain. And yo, for my pain, for my pain.
Sheldon, bringing it, getting close to finishing this round, the first round. Nicole Dunn, 9.75. Coming to the stage, give it up for Gabriel.
This one, that's the one you need. There it is. Now you got to retighten everything else. All right, I came over here from Great Falls across the divide for a good time, so thanks for the invite. You all slinging some good frequency. There's a piece called Perpetual Perception. Swept up into the tidal rush and down into a pool, splashing heavily in aural bliss and scattering schools. It's a waving frequency, a steady beat that pulses straight through me, still shining after cleaning out my mind, with a message of true love. But I don't even see it. I can barely feel it. And as I bathe in the dim blue glow, the flickers tell me all I need to know, and my perpetual perception is tuned to a channel of depression. Flipping through the news, it's all about blues, not shades of gold or other hues that come from sharing with each other our stories and our glories magnified in compressed time. Energy penetrating past old doors into new rooms of relativity, revolution revolving all around we. Uncomfortably numbing agents are crawling the streets, and now we have to watch our backs while we seek for inner truth amongst the outer lie that perches on our shoulders like a guilty spy, on our inner fears, the source of pure tears that tear at our eyes until they run clear. And the mental spears, they're back again, with splinters that fragment this creation thing, and we're divided when we should be exponential, with our personal successes absolutely existential, and we're working with the scene with the greatest rip that ever decided to tear time and take the trip of otherworldly proportions. Every time I think that big, it sends my brain into contortions, but that's okay, because a good stretch is best on a daily basis. An exercise of ecstasis class is in session, and I'm at my seat. They give me sentences to repeat, but somehow they do not seem to be complete. They are hollow, and they echo through the chambers of our capital cities, staffed by terrestrial extras, casting movies, casting lines, and the form holds, even as the mask unfolds and looks at us with a true face. It is time to complete the trace. You make the call.
Whoa, Gabe's a little tall. Gabriel. Give it up for Gabriel. Great Falls is in the house. Great Falls has actually come over here and represent and hold it down before, taking slots of first and second. Give it up for Great Falls. And I don't know if you saw, but you saw the Reggie Watts t-shirt. Reggie Watts representing MT. I'm hoping that some street artist will make a stencil of Reggie Watts and just plaster it everywhere in my imagination. Sheldon, 10. Almost wrapping the first round up. Coming to the stage. Alicia. Give it up for Alicia. She flew in today. Hasn't been back to the zoo for a minute. Give a warm welcome back to the zoo for Alicia.
Hi, everybody. It's good to be back here. Today is a great day to be crazy. But the crazy does not come. And I dry up after an anticlimactic orgasm. My drunk can't get drunk anymore. And my fits are whines. They don't sustain anger, and I am disappointing to my best villains. I have nothing to catch, no virus to spread, no legs to shave out of protest, no protest to burden. I am my worst nightmare. Tired of correcting accents, tired of hearing the pristine say everything slightly askew to be hip. I'm a battered woman, but I don't show it. My crazy is weak, and they know it. You know it. You know it, and I'm sorry. I have disillusioned my own disillusionments to think I could travel like a train, filled with hardness and coal. I am empty of cool of heat. Crazy has erupted me once, so I was a goddess filled with more determination than Hitler on a bristling morning with a camera shooting him to the moon. He could kill, he could muster enough crazy to kill himself. I fear that my fear has died. My jokes go no further than shit in diapers and the Castro penises swinging side to side after getting a blowjob. And all I can think is, where's my blowjob? Where's my fucking blowjob? I always wanted to fuck the gods in my covers, way down beneath. I had something wet, tangled up in my staticky nightgown. Once lying that I had chicken pox down there. That's why I was scratching and no one cared. I knew the whole house was masturbating, even my mom and dad, all of us thriving while we said our gloriful prayers. There was something sick and strong in that. I want to be sick and strong again, like a bat that doesn't have all its senses, but wants to keep it going, scary and foreign, like a beautiful woman with a black eye.
But here I have two, not one, but two black eyes to hold me up. Not enough skin to whore me up. Not enough gall to say you're flat, not your body, not your skin. Yes, your skin, your dull way. Your yellow sinks into your back. Then you write a poem about it, and I have to sit and listen to this. I never wanted that for you. For me. God, let it be slippery this time. Let me glow. Let me glisten for you a little tonight. And I promise I will laugh and be a woman again. I promise I will walk with a tilt and smile like Satan is at the end of my lips. You will see it and you will gasp and you say, oh, that woman is crazy. She is so happy. She's too happy. Look, she's got the devil on her lips. Yeah, she's got the devil at her lips. Nah, she's crazy. Thank you.
Coming to the stage. Put your hands together for Miss Rain.
Who's got a voice out there? I hear you.
You guys got voices. I might need a little help with this one. Once I danced on a dewdrop. Born in a crescent moon, bright dawning with new day's light. Grown color from darkness, stars spun mystery. Interpretive movements resonating a symphony of bird, frog, cricket. Calling the king up from her curvature. His brilliant rays ready to stimulate a new day's playful contemplation. Communities, collaboration, integral interaction, sparking spontaneous scenarios sent, sensual, spiritual. Generating generous gift-giving, fortunes flowing forth from hands helping, hearts healing, humanity honing. Humanity honing. Are there humans out there? Can I hear you? Oh, humans, what do you think we should be honing? Can you call it out to me?
Love.
Yes, louder. Woo! Keep it coming, keep it rolling. How about education that stimulates creativity and exploration? Yeah, reach, love, justice.
Interrelation.
Yeah. How about farming that fertilizes our soil rather than toxifying it? Yeah. With all of these things, humanity honing, these skill sets would grow prosperity like a peach, pear, plum, nectarine, cherry, apple, apricot tree, freely providing for all that simply reach for a taste of sweet understanding. Understanding. Standing under this canopy is like standing beneath, this understanding is like standing beneath a canopy that flowers before it leaves, offering sweet procreative energy before it even breathes. With the co-creative beings, its fruit may one day feed. Have you tasted this fruit? Have you tasted this fruit?
Yeah.
It's growing all over this town. I hope you've tasted this fruit. Because what's growing in that tree is the kind of understanding that we need each other to share and feed. Thank you.
Give it up for Rain. So that ends our first round. So now we go from 16 poets to 8 poets. and then from 8 poets to 4 poets to 2 poets to 1 poet. So, give it up for Nate over here. He's tallying everything up. And give it up to the DJ, which is just an archetype in my psyche. I'm a bass player, and I'm glad I'm not a drummer because I'd never be on time. That's real talk. My band has a tendency to give me dummy times. They'll be like, Taj, be there at 9:15. Everybody else shows up at 9:40. And then when I start to be on time, I start to catch it. I'm like, oh shit, they're putting dummy times on me. So then I just accept the dummy times. So I played this gig. Can I tell a story? Yeah. So I played this gig in Washington. And all of a sudden I saw Al Roker. Everybody know who Al Roker is? I saw Al Roker, he was chilling at this gig, and it was in the summer. And then I got done playing, and he thought since I was a long hair, I was smoking weed. And back in the day, I used to smoke some weed. So he was like checking me out. I was like, oh shit, Al Roker's checking me out here. What's going on here? And then Al Roker came over to me, and he was like, hey, so what's up with the weed? I said, whoa. What do you mean what's up with the weed? He goes, what's up with the weed? Y'all got some good bud up here. Now this was, back in the day. So back in the day when I actually did smoke, I said, okay, I'll share with you, Al. So then Al ripped out these papers that were beyond crazy, sci-fi science fiction papers. And it was starting to get really surreal, and I didn't understand what was going on. So I pulled out my jar, and then I just kind of gave it to him, and then Al just decided to pull it into my jar and just start rolling this twisty. And then he gave me my jar back, and then he started smoking the doobie, and then the brother just kind of held on to it for a while, just talking about the sky and talking about this and that. And I was just so miffed that actually Al Roker from the news that I watched when I was 8 was smoking a spliff, and not only smoking a spliff, but vulture smoking it, holding on to it, forgetting about me. And then I figured that I needed to say something really witty and funny so I could be in with Al Roker. And I'm thinking, and I still hadn't hit the weed. And finally I hit the weed, and then I give it back to him, and then I'm thinking about what am I going to get real witty about? And then he hits it and gives it back to me. I said, Big Al, it's a 5-day forecast. Like this, and he looked at me, and he grabbed my chin and said, bro, stop fucking my high up. That's not real, but that took place in my imagination when I saw Al Roker at the gig. The whole thing took place. And sometimes the mind doesn't know really what's going on in reality, or it's just happening in the imagination. Give me 1 minute, we'll get these scores. Y'all ready for some poetry? So as we tally these scores up, I want to give you some scores from the first round. Alicia, 9.25. Gabriel, 9.375. And Miss Rain, 9.125. Give it up to your poets on the first round. And we're about to speed this up and get right to the second round. So here we go. Coming up to the second round, Sheldon, Drew, Ethan, Austin, Nicole, Rain, Alicia, Gabriel. Give us just a moment. Ready for the second round. So this young adolescent came up to me and he said, how do we actually be able to function in a society? Because everywhere I look around, it seems so dysfunctional, and I have all these feelings. And he said, I feel like the reason I act dysfunctional at periods of time is because I'm actually reacting to a dysfunctional society. And I was like, wow, that's deep. Coming from an 11-year-old. Coming to the stage, put your hands together for the second round. Give it up for Ethan.
Well, okay then.
I am an ultrasonic boom harpoon dragoon mushroom cloud doom tycoon. I'm a super silver sprayer, a smooth demon slayer, and a cool stuff sayer. Well, I entered the ocean slowing down at 9,000 miles per hour when I hit the water. I made the impact in peace, but the deep sea collision caused an underwater implosion that raised the surface of the ocean hundreds of feet and sent tidal waves in all directions. I plunged directly into the black murk of the ocean's bottom and submerged into plaque. From the seafloor and up the terrain of the globe with my supercomputer. I scanned the stars and clocked the moon and then regulated the homing mechanism on my ultrasonic boom harpoon. I made the landing somewhat gracefully, taking only minor damage to the outer shell of my carriage, but I had a major concussion to manage when I banged my cranium off the roof of the pod cage. This was only a minor stumble at the stargate of what was indeed to be a fascinating adventure into the realm only known as paradise. It took 10 seconds for my digital respiration implants to adjust to life underwater, 11 seconds for my interdimensional data synthesizer to filter through the windscreen and dilate onto my supersonic fiber optic bionic retina monitor, and 12 seconds for my digital reaction hardware and my nano-intelligence system to sync. So for the duration of this time period, I survived purely on strength and instinct. I took action when the act of an attack was enacted upon my contraption while exploring in the blackness. I became entangled in the clutches of a giant squid, and the struggle that ensued seemed to call forth all inhabitants of the surrounding network. But I bewildered the beast with the high-pitched sonar static sequence and escaped to the surface. The injuries I endured were epic and proportional normality, and so in this ocean I came to know life in third-dimensional reality. I came ashore at once into a dense thicket of whooping jungle. I'd always heard stories of this place, but I'd never placed foot on human earth land. The sensation of my sensors in the sand was sensational. The night mesmerizing, and the leaves on the trees were a beautiful sight they were to see. Now I've seen darkness, and I've seen light. Death is tempting, and freedom is sweet. And oh, how I'd read the sun of an early morning, but I'll be damned if I misunderstand glory. This is my story. I rose up onto the beach, and my suit began changing pressure. My nanosonic reactor core was synchronized with my laser sensors in chronic measure. I made acquaintance with the microscopic society of mute primitives. I gained their admiration easily, but the phase spheres and the plasma charger to the radioactive jet enhancer filters were not accustomed to such dormancy, so eventually I had to power down my ultrasonic boom harpoon before the scale-soft strobe mechanism and the fit board got too hot and malfunctioned. Soon I set aside the old boom harpoon and learned the ways of the machete. I became privy to the laws of judgment and wanted to go out and dominate consequence, but they said I was not ready. They were sure to point out my absurdities so I could correct them in future endeavors. This was something I liked. They also taught me to eat meat and gave me my first dirt bike. Anyway. I'm stumbling here. Well, fuck it. Shit. What? Dirt bikes indeed. The 3 minutes are up. Okay, well, I guess the 3 minutes are up, and I'm going to stop right there. I fucked it up.
The name of that poem is called Dirt Bikes. That was long, bonk, Newcomb. I feel like this brother's like the poet, like auctioneer. Just be spitting metaphors and selling shit at the same time. I slice and dice and roll and pice them just to keep it nice. But it's nice and nice, but $9.99 keeps you all the time. I got a bit, I got a dollar, I got a meter, I got a holler. I'm long, dong, dick, Newcomb, stuck, fuck, what the hell, I'm stuck. But it doesn't matter because I keep on rolling. Give it up for this brother over here. Coming to the stage. Are you ready for some poetry? Nicole Dunn.
Of up to $200 that gets earned as you play. For every dollar you deposit,
We got another announcement here.
up to $200. Click on the banner or go to FanDuel.com and use promo code Pandora. That's FanDuel.com, promo code Pandora.
Give it up for Nicole Dunn.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. I cut through all the bush colors, gash deep in the fleshy parts of the yesterday. dragging my feet like a tree with limbs bony and wet, an image I won't soon forget, like frost on branches, daggers in the wind. And I'll have to sit torso in bend just to see around the corner at what ails the common man. And it'd be easier to sit, but I prefer to stand in the mess of what's been made, baking in the sun and hiding in the shade. And I'm at an introspective age where what makes sense seems pointless in the hands of ignorance and breed. And here we all are in need of substance and integrity in this time of earthly holocaust and mute clarity. And sometimes I said, sometimes I just loathe opening my eyes to see what degradation has taken place since last the world spun around in the snow globe of space. And I've worn many a face, pretending to be something I'm not, caught myself in the seat of the pants, trying to get away, masquerading around with nothing intelligent to say. And I decided in order to leave, I had to learn to stay for all the wrong reasons. A moving statue of the seasons, melting and freezing, growing and weaving through the grains of time. And the only life I can live is mine, and I can choose to be cynical, or I can choose to shine.
Give it up for Nicole. It's poems like that that make me want to live my life as a musical. That when I'm in the store paying for food with Federal Reserve notes, I can say, did you know that the Federal Reserve gives money to banks at 0.01%? And at the same time, they give loans to you taxpayers at 1.7%. And there were a private corporation, this Federal Express, created in 1930 with the Federal Reserve Act, and I don't know. And then I go to a banker and I say, Mr. Banker, please, Mr. Banker, please, can you tell me logically, intelligently, like somebody from Main Street, what the fuck a derivative is? Coming to the stage, put your hands together for Austin.
All right, this is called 150 million times. I was told I should write you a love poem, but I didn't want it to be like any other love poem. I wanted it to be the love poem that makes you feel like you're falling in love, that makes the audience's breath catch in their chest, that makes it feel as though the ground is falling beneath my feet, so that you know what happens every single time that I look into your eyes. Every time I look into your eyes, I feel like I have been entangled with 1,000 pythons. The harder I struggle to break free, the tighter your eyes grip me, the more I become enchanted and realize maybe it's better this time to just gaze on. Your smile reminds me of the sun, which means that because of how white I am, I'm partially afraid of it. Because I burn like newspaper over an open flame, but it's okay if you can't read my front page, just so long as I get to feel your warmth and feel the warmth of your embrace. As if God desired an angel to walk among men, you are a dream come true, and you have been running through my dreams all night, and I was told that I should follow my dreams, so I followed them out of town all the way to a different college. I prayed that you would always be with me, So contrary to popular belief, it came as a blessing when I was able to share the burden of your diabetes. It was a new way to relate, a new way to understand that love isn't always sunshine and rainbows, but sometimes there is an element of pain to it. But it also means that I will always put you before me. I cannot swim, but if I am drowning, I will jump in after you. I'm afraid of a fight, but I will clash with armies if they threaten you. I may not be strong, but I will move mountains to get to you. Every second of every day, again and again, I fall back in love with you, which means that I have fallen in love with you over 150,249,706 times. If you do the math, that's a whole shitload of love. If you do the math, that means I just can't imagine life without you. But somehow I still live it that way. If you do the math, it means I can't imagine a day gone by without your lips against mine, but still that is somehow most days. I constantly fear that I will lose you more than I have with this distance, but when I think of the reward, 114.6 miles really doesn't seem like that far of a walk. When I think of you, a rose loses its appeal. Honey seems less sweet. Angels cry because one of their kind has lost her wings, but not her beauty. You are my darling. And as sand, I have let you fall through my fingers one time too many, so let me pick you up, remind you that coarse hands can hold a soft cause, mend your scars, and remind you how beautiful you still are. You are my darling. I am right where you left me, but I will meet you wherever you are.
Nicole Dunn, 9.625. Ethan, 7.875. And coming to the stage, the one that can speak words that makes me blush from across town. Give it up for Alicia.
Making some men blush. So I told someone the next poem was going to be about masturbation, and I lied.
I'm already blushing.
Okay. Pose leave. I feel my uterus is rotting. I have an ulcer, or I have a baby that needs to be aborted. The coffee shop is crowded with bustlers, metrosexuals taking my order, smiling with crest-white strip smiles. Metrosexuals, definition, a man resurrecting the aura of the Roman Empire. It is easy to be a rubbernecker in a coffee shop. To them, I am a sleepy waiter. I sit and watch the obese woman in her hot pink clam diggers like those pants will cover up her fat rolls. She gets a Danish, the jelly oozing. She gets a latte, sugar-free, she pronounced proudly. She looks like a mobster's wife, tired, beaten, her face covered up with too much makeup, her nails tip purple at the ends, except on her left ring finger. My nipples are protruding from my thin jacket. I have sauntered in unromantically without a bra. I don't give a fuck. I am wearing leather buckle boots with candy striped pajama pants. I don't give a fuck. They call my name Alyssa. It is Alicia. That one stings a bit. They are bustlers in line to intoxicate themselves with bustling elixir to fulfill their bustling needs. I think of T.S. Eliot, whimpering and banging. I read that he hated Poe, probably the way he ordered his tea. No agenda in mind.
Elliot probably hated his black cloak blowing about, his whistling in the Baltimore streets, intoxicating everybody with his breath, crying, "Death is coming," like a bird flying into somebody's house. There is no whimpering and banging. There is bustling. We fight wars with hesitation. We make love with lust and hesitation. We dress in hesitation. We leave our lovers in hesitation. I try to leave my lover, but he says I need to take care of him. He says he needs to take care of me. I miss my mother and her tea breath, her pin-up legs curled up on the couch reading the news, her wet hair tied up like a bodie. She says, "Gloucester Brothers is closing." I grunt. She says, "I remember I was a waitress there once. The first snow of the year, I pranced around saying, 'It's snowing, it's snowing.' Nobody cared. Piss ants." She knew about the bustling long ago. The coffee makes you shit in the morning. It is good and fast and helps you bustle and chatter. Did you file the report? Did you fuck him? Did you get the press release? Well, why don't you just forget about him? You are not rotting. Yes, I am. I am rotting. Like Poe's leaf. He was chasing it. His cloak got caught on a lamppost. The leaf kept going. The leaf had purpose. It grew beautiful. It had glory. It bustled. It crinkled. It blew around. It rotted. It flew away. It didn't cry or whimper or bang. It bustled. Thank you.
Sweet, sugar-free latte, leather-buckled boots elixir, Ashley, Alicia, give it up! That's what I love about poetry. It's the linguistic format that people just bring. Coming to the stage, give it up for Rain.
One day, our justice-loving peace will remind us all that we are interconnected in a universal comic tragedy. Today, they're poor, impoverished. Not to have needs met basic, no house, no vote, no voice, no food organic. Rich million, billionaire, trillionaire, creating needs were once with ease met. Lonely rooms, percentage vote. With such freedom to speak, money has a big voice, creating avenues for technology with no ethical guidance, fueled organic. But wait. There's a story, living, written at my feet. Stepping off the curb, my routine perception transits, presupposing belief like concrete is better for my feet than the soft grass water is wasted upon. Cultures of violence laid like sod down on cinder blocks, laid innocent seed before a genetic gun, forced insemination to become a whore for the corporate wet dream of controlling nearly every aspect of a wild, miraculous enchantress of dreams. Corrupted simple water questing green to grow on virtually nothing, like cinder blocks, like paved blockages poured into pores, smothering the fertile fire's blessing, given ash that sets so many wondrous seeds to opening hard shells, protective meditation, breaking safety's boundary open for the fresh taste of vulnerability. Cinder blocks, like concrete, like laboratory constraint feeding mean determination, narrow paths like sterile hallways lined with fluorescent tubes shooting tubes of embodied choice making, eating an out of sight need for profitability rather than an ability to breathe healthfully with the blue of the sky and the wild water wending enchanted cloud life and light endless insight breathing between the energy of day and night. Moon, stone, soil, wizened waters, rending crystals, secrets, whispering, sweet, mysterious, awesome, miraculous, mutagenic, diverse, sensual, everything is through dark terror of the unknown. Like terrific quandaries into what those plants around us bring to life beyond the diversity of shape, size, smell, color, texture, flavor. Dare I let thought be driven to nourishment? Bring down the superhighway, mainstream pipeline dream, scheming to mechanize, petri dish, hybridize, imprison, sterilize, and scandalize drones, building drones, protecting drones, watching drones, hunting drones, programming drones to drive drones into cancerous states of insanity because I am first responsible for what I see. I was not born to be enslaved behind barcodes, blood-beating rhythm with the water. I am free. There is a medicine earth beneath my feet, offering rest, rejuvenation, strength, and inspiration. I am a medicine child born with an indigenous dream, holding peace in this world worth discovering. Thanks.
They got so many industry accolades.
I didn't get the Pandora upgrade. I don't want to pay any money. Give it up for Rain. Austin, 9.125. Coming to the stage, give it up for Andrew.
Alright, this one's not like the first one. Shed skin like tears, molecular robotic invasion of our minds that made the wind spray radioactive heat, and he reached upwards and upwards until his arms popped out of their sockets, and still nobody could hear their screams. And the lecherous gazed confusingly with glee as the white shirts flaunted their wisdom. The sky blew red-hot branches all over the ground, and the leaves blew madly. He picked it up into his hand and slammed the dagger all the way through. The void had been cracked open, spilling invisible demons upon all of the people, and their misdirected chant from enchantment could be heard for miles beyond the shore. They plucked their eyes from their dolls and ate little bits of sand, while their own eyes filled with water, forming a blissful glow, a perfect glare allowing them to stare at the sun. And they all loved each other, but they really didn't know. And as the days went by, their numbers dwindled, many killed and some dead of old age and disease, and their rotting corpses spawned new life, life that would crawl out of the forest and refine their own beloved little death.
Next up, coming to the stage, 2 more poets for this round, then we go to the next round. We're rolling. Here we go. Give it up for Sheldon. Rain, 8.25. Alicia, 9.25. Give it up for Sheldon.
See, this world is cold, and I'ma travel the globe. No justice for my people, so the rhymes that I'm kicking are gonna sound a little lethal, especially to those who believe we're not equal. I'll have you come to a show and see while you standing over concrete. I have to speak my piece, no treaties. All the lies and disease, they've been trying to put me in the box. They've been trying to hit me with the smallpox, man, that's all they got. Throwing shackles and chains, I stay dodging left and right, and I'm aiming at your mind frame. For my pain in these pictures I paint, I'm Picasso with the pen. When I feel the blank page coming strange, I remain writing rhymes in the middle of the night. My third eye sights way above the city lights, and my people know our freedom fights. Our freedom fights. Our freedom fights, our freedom fights. Put a price on my head if you duck it with the feds. Leave nothing unsaid for my people when I'm dead. Why? Because the government got me on the list of alien intelligence. Shit, I should be the president. But nah, too much politicking, too much only wishing. Yo, too much politicking, too much only wishing. Yo, I'm not about that life. You can catch me on the grind. Free your mind when you see me at a show. Feel me in your cerebral cortex. You wanna step, don't test. Man, I'm flexing with the best ever since I got this pen in my hand and touch pen to the pad. I'll be taking a stand, and when I step to this mic stand, they don't want it, man. They don't want it, man. They don't want it, man. They don't want it, man.
Gabriel, come to the stage. Give it up for Sheldon. Representing Great Falls.
You know why I love Montana? Because it's MT. Trademark. So this is a piece called Be Here Now. It's inspired by the book and also the moment. We can only show you the beginning, not the path. You must find the how. Be here now. Be here now. Leave your thoughts at the playground. They will be safe and sound. Leave the confines of the park. Close your eyes, see into the dark. See through the shroud that clouds the mind with consciousness. Know your ego to be true. Leave your ego to be true, consciousness. Be here now. Be here now. It's a quest, a test, neither more nor less, 'cause when you arrive, it means your death. So journey on, journey on. One thoughtless foot in front of the other, open to service to sisters and brothers, 'cause we are all this human family. Compounding interest should mean I inspire you to inspire me. Yeah. Together we branched this world tree that forms a soothing canopy to shade the soul from blistering and all this whispering. We'll never be enough. Life will never be enough. Take this ego by the throat, toss it to the gator's moat. Breathe across the bridge to meet infinite soul time to greet. Be here now. Be here now. Be here now. We hold ourselves apart from the success that stirs our hearts, resonantly blessed in part. But we wish to control the charts and the rhythms of our hearts. But the sailing is not to be controlled. We are not the wind. We are not the wind. And any time we seize the boat with the illusion of captaining, the ego wins. The ego grins and the ego thins our sense of connectedness. To this solar path, I challenge you to do the math. A counted ego comes in last. So take this equation to the scholarly halls. Take this equation to the culture squalls. Take this equation to the shopping malls. There's plenty of numbers for us all. Balance draws from a well so deep. Slow the breath to fast asleep. Be here now. Thanks.
That throat singing was pretty cool. I just kept thinking about a death metal band doing throat singing to talk about consciousness.
Praise the press, get colorful, praise the light, meditate, Bruce Wayne takes will free your mind, equanimity. Don't get caught up with the thought, Bruce Wayne.
Rain 8.25. Sheldon 9.75, and that was our last poet for the second round, so just give us a moment. We'll bring you the third round. Thank you so much for being here. Give it up for yourselves for being here. Give us like 2 minutes here because we're going to move right into the next round. Give it up for our sponsor, the Crash Test Dummy right here. Wearing your seatbelt. Also brought to you by Saab. You know what's behind every Saab? Saab store. You alright? Crash Test Dummy just fell over. I think he thought this was the costume party. So I decided to plug myself. That's going to be on my next album. So I play in a couple bands. I play in Mudslide Charlie, another kind of shameless self-promotion. I play in the kazoo band where it's just me. And I do kazoo solos. And mostly in restaurants. And then I play in another band. Any Rage Against the Machine fans out there? So I play in a band called Guerrilla Radio. And I front the vocals. Della Roca, try to channel Della Roca in some manner. So we're playing at the Top Hat on the 23rd, and then I'll be opening. And then I'm coming out with my third album here shortly, and my son's about to come out with his EP. So enough of that shameless self-promotion. This was my last album, by the way. Sweatshop Sneakers, and I have some of those albums, but I didn't bring them because I'm not a very good businessman. I have a hard time selling, so I just give them away. So we have something kind of interesting here. So we have 3 that are in here for 4, but then we have a tie. So this is where we get kind of twisted, and this is where I kind of like twist the whole thing. So this is where I like to put poets on the spot. So I need Gabriel and Austin to come up here. And now see, this is where the crowd really gets involved. So Gabriel and Austin need to come up here because there was a tie. So we're going to do something here where they're going to have to freestyle for 1 minute. So timekeeper, I want to get the 1 minute here. So, yeah, so you go ahead and flip the coin. Let's flip the coin to see who flips the coin first. And then we'll get straight from there. So we'll see who flips the coin to flip the coin to flip the coin. It kind of sounds like capitalism. Well, so, heads or tails? You guys got to figure that out. Figure out which one first. I'll call tails. Where you going second? Pick. It's your choice, man. I don't like to choose. Huh? 1 second. Gabriel's first. So, timekeeper, we got our time? So this has got to be freestyle, but obviously some people slip some things in there, and that's all good. So right when Gabriel hits the mic, but I need everybody to say, give us some poetry at the count of 3, and then right when he hits the mic, do 1 minute. And then at the end, we need to then flip it back over, and at the end, audience is going to judge who goes to the next round. So here we go. So hit us with some poetry. 1, 2, 3. Oh, hit us with some poetry. 1, 2, 3.
All right, well, you make it up as you go. Let me tell you something new. I can feel it coming through the ages. Do we remember what we were? The brain alive with the power of nature? The magic's back to speak again. It's waking up the sleeping friend within us. Come out to play, the day is dark. It's easier to see your spark shining. Do you recall what's coming round the corner? I rose to thorn, but it dissolved the border, and now the flood is loosened in my blood. There's no turning back, just moving forward.
Hit us with some poetry. 1, 2, 3. Hit us with some poetry. 1, 2, 3.
So I'm not a rapper. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm too white for this, and what I'm gonna say is what comes off the top of my mind, because honestly, it's actually gonna have to come from the heart. What I've noticed is that the mind stops, it stumbles, it slips, it catches over itself, but what happens from the heart is pure. I'm sorry if I can't rhyme. What I give you is the only thing that time allows me to. The only thing that I want to give you is something that is nothing but emotion. Because the motion of these lyrics is something that reminds me of my older brother. Maybe he was a rapper and before that, a poet, and I decided that I wanted to follow in his footsteps. So here I am today following in his footsteps. Maybe my best friend Sterling from first grade decided that he too wanted to be a rapper and also a poet, so I decided to follow in his footsteps as well. I'm not gonna lie, I've spent most of my life living in a shadow, and so here I am standing in the shadow of the stage with the lights on me, and what I'm going to do is cast as big of one as I possibly can, because all I want you to know is what comes from my heart, from my soul, and that's what you are going to get, because I am a poet.
Nice, so brothers, come right here. So now this is where you help judge here. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Austin raise his hand, and you're going to give us something. Then we're going to have Gabriel raise his hand, and then these two are going to determine who goes to the next round. So, put your hand up, Austin. Give it up for Austin. Gabriel, raise your hand. Give it up for Gabriel.
Come with 4 pieces? I did. Well, you sling them, man. Sling them.
Coming to the stage, put your hands together for Austin!
Thank you, Gabriel. I'm sweating bullets right now. This is great. Okay. So this one's called Dear Chris. Dear Chris, the other day you taught me something. You taught me a few things about life. Sports and family, loss, life. About life. First off, that it's too short, and for some of us even shorter. But also that it's not necessarily measured in length, but what we fit into the time that we have, quality over quantity. Not just a business principle, but words to live by. Cross-applied into exercise, that when you were doing giants on the high bar, maybe it wasn't about how many you would do, but how well you would do them and how hard you would try. About sports and family. And that was it. Gymnastics, maybe on the fast track to the Olympics, I don't know, but what I do know is that you were a champion on those rings, high bar, pommel horse, showing my little baby brother what does and doesn't work when it comes to competition, and maybe about family. Maybe I was related to you by way of my baby brother, because maybe family is more than blood, and maybe it's more of a brotherhood, and isn't that what matters? When a line of your brothers were sitting next to each other, shamelessly splattering teardrops on their team jackets, the result of a car accident. Monday night, most people complained that the lights in their house were out, while the lights in my friend's eyes were out. About loss. People whine when they lose power, but a downed tree would snatch the breath from your lungs. 1 hour you breathe, the next would bring showers of tears from the eyes of loved ones. None undue. Rudy Francisco reminds us that while the complainers would babble on, we were quiet because true tragedy and silence live at the exact same address. And a smile. So we would dress ourselves in sorrow and pray maybe tomorrow wouldn't be as hard as today, and smile later knowing your memory isn't one that's in vain, but shed a tear of remembrance when my baby brother would share an Instagram post covered with pictures of your face with, I'll remember those days, I miss you, Chris, but one day I will see you again. Maybe he won't just be chasing a dream, but he will follow in your footsteps to be the greatest gymnast there has ever been. Maybe he'll listen to your life advice when you talked about overcoming fear. Maybe the high bar wasn't about facing something terrifying, it was about besting it. Maybe the rips on your hands weren't scars, they were trophies, and it was so sweet to be able to boast these as if there was no need to acknowledge the pain. My friend, Chris, I remember the moment I learned you died. I watched the tears well up in my mother's eyes, and I went into my baby brother's room to hold him while he cried, and I told him, Julian, I swear this is the hardest thing you will go through in your entire life. And I know that you won't come back. I just hope that a poem is enough to honor your memory, so the world would know what you did for me, because you were that close to my family. And it really did hit home when you hit that tree. Dear Chris, here's to you. And thank you for teaching me.
Give it up for Austin. This is one of my songs right here. It's on my next album. DJ, where you at? So I didn't get a chance. I wanted to make sure that we were give it up to Austin one more time here. So the other three that made it to this round, Alicia, Nicole Dunn, and Sheldon.
So without further ado, please give it up for Nicole Dunn.
What do you see when you look at me? More than statistical information, most likely. More than realistic, biographical, unbiased, factual contemplations, probably. More than my height 5'2" and weight 150. More than my double D rack and your desire to get me in a sack because I got wide thighs and a big ass. I think I've been listening to too much rap. I think I'll back up just a little bit, pitter-pat back off just a little bit. When I look at you and you look at me, when we look around at anybody, we don't see that person just as they are, but who we want them to be, which is as far from the truth as we are from perfection, which is a foolhardy illusion that's pretty convincing, like disheveled, half-naked, horribly depressed-looking women in Victoria's Secret ads, which I guess are supposed to be alluring? Women whose drapes probably don't match the flooring simply because there's actually something on top. Our depiction of what's sexy and what's not needs to be revamped, and the commercialization industry restamped as soft porn so that we can be rated, so that we can have a choice as to whether or not we want our minds berated every time we're just checking our emails online. Because I don't want to fuel the kind of messages we've been spoon-fed about beauty or aging. Instead, I'd rather focus on the importance of saving our integrity and not throwing it away for the never-ending cycle of vanity in the name of unwrinkled skin, dyed hair, fake breasts, and an ongoing need for validation that we're somebody worth the attention. Because I don't want to waste my time squinting to see that face in the mirror just to condemn, put down, and hate her. Oh, shoot. I got better things to do. And honey, beauty ain't nothing you can buy where it change about your body. It's all about your attitude, what you say, think, and feel, your motivations, and the actions you choose. Because I've seen some fine-looking men who, when they start talking, I start walking the other way because they ain't got nothing real to say. I'm looking for connection, human interaction unmuddled by what we think others think about who we think we should pretend to be. I don't want to shake your hand limply, share a fake smile, and exchange false pleasantries and meet a fictitious you with a fictitious me. I want to look you in the eye when I say hello and ask how you are, only when I know I have the time for you to tell me for real. Life's too short to mask how we feel and I do what we love. Because when push comes to shove and pull turns to tug, ain't nothing gonna stand in my way. I'm practicing to be light, joyful, and free today.
Oh, give it up for Nicole. Next up, Sheldon. Give it up for Sheldon.
Living in this life, I'm caught up in the struggle. It's a puzzle. It wasn't until I found a... Living in this life, I'm caught up in the struggle. It's a puzzle. It wasn't until I found a hustle like a build upon the rubble. Become humble. Gather the pieces. I continue breathing. Steady, calm, and ready. My mind will be heavy. Body aching, pain, and bones about to break. Those chances I'm gonna have to take, and opportunities while I need to create and make ways for my people. For my people. But I'm feeling like I'm stuck in a maze. My guiding hand be coming from a warrior ways. Although some opposed say, hey, be not the same. I'm here to reclaim and occupy the state of mind they've been trying to break down since the day they came. Saying you know my name, it don't matter. The revolution will never be shattered. A while after my time is come and gone, they'll be singing the songs. My people will come together and remember through all of the pain. Yeah, we're looking for a better tomorrow today. See, I'm gone, I'm about to break. No escapes when I wake, I'm in a living nightmare. I'm light years away. My mind, body, and my spirit feeling disconnected. No longer mirror image, it's apparent I'm lost. And so evidently my pain bleeding blink sheets to reach energy provoke within me and bring forth some peace. Let me see, I've been blind using only two EYEs. I haven't been me. Come clean and replenish your soul. The light falls deep within my core, burns slow and continues to grow and glow. And I'll show when I'm at my highs or even at my lowest of lows, I find hope.
Give it up for Sheldon. Alicia, where you at? Okay. I love her style. She knows she's next and she'll just be sitting right there and be like, I'm just gonna wait till he calls my name. And I'm gonna come right up to the center. Give it up!
Where's Waleska? Here's your masturbation poem. Hey, girl.
Finally.
I gotta bring the mic out for this one. I was married once. This isn't the start of the poem, I just wanted to say. But anyway, great art is, you know, shit happens. I did it anyway. When I fucked up, I knew I was fucking up. I did it anyway. When I lied, I knew I was lying. I did it anyway. And a rush of hot blood went through me like boiled wine. If I wasn't drinking it, I'd imagine it was running through my body. When I wasn't fucking, I'd imagine I was fucking. I'd imagine a glob of sweaty hands on me that was wrinkled sheets between my thighs. Even if I had a husband waiting for me, I'd lie and say, not tonight. And tonight I am the housewife. Tonight I am the crazy Mary, Jackie, Sandy, Brandy, your fucking mother's aunt's friend, smoking too many cigarettes in the corner with a naked baby on the hip. Tonight I am her and every Marjorie, Lisa, Tony, Renee, Barb, Sue, Peggy Sue, and Jane, waiting to fuck someone else, even if it's a wad of sheets rumpled up like velvet. If I was trying to get your attention, believe me, my mother taught me how to get you to notice. Your tits and legs are a dowry. She would say, blink the eyes like so. Touch your legs like so. Laugh a little like so. Don't show too many teeth. Don't give it all away. But you always do. So I saw you and you looked twice. Don't think I didn't see you look twice. My mother said a man is a fragile thing. I didn't believe her. But let me tell you, when I fuck up, I believe I did it anyway. So when you want to hit me in your dry spell, there's no headache, there's no pain I don't feel. But tonight, a lot of sheets don't talk back. And I'm gonna do them anyway.
Pretty sure that Taj is about to put some music on, but I just want to steal the mic for a quick second because for 7 years and counting, this amazing man, Taj, could you please just put your head up there for a second, has been hosting the Poetry Slam. And for people like myself, which I'm sure you're spattered out there, have been totally awakened and have brought these pieces that were kind of hanging out in you and shared them. So please give it up, a huge round for Taj.
Be right with you in 1 minute here. Score. blast through the atmosphere. Ground control, I feel we got a problem here.
I used to work at a group home and I had kids up front and they kept ADD, like changing the radio station. I said, man, stop, turn it down, change the radio station, turn it up, be a good DJ. I wish they were here right now to see my vocals. This right here is my son. He's got a new EP coming out. He's 16 years old. He writes his own music, puts it all together. This is Deeks. We got some scores coming for you.
Grandma told me not to pick because the mood is too hot.
My son.
I'ma take a little look inside of my brain to try to figure out.
I seriously don't know who's raising who.
After this,
he's raising me and I'm raising him. Sometimes I think it's a little bit of both.
Left and the new one just came.
It's interesting because
a little bit.
I'll be like, we get on stage together.
Told me not to.
I asked him, I said, Diego, I got a gig next week. You want to jump on stage? And he's like, how many verses do I get? I just cracking you up. I love it.
I can't erase it. I guess I hit my head on the pavement. It's just my pain.
Give it up for all the poets tonight.
Back to basics. Because I'm pacing.
So, we got a tie for first and second. But we got another round.
I heard a voice say, please.
So, number 4. With a score of 9.0, Sheldon. Give it up for Sheldon. Number 3, with a score of 9.6, Alicia, give it up. And if I could get Nicole and Austin up here, with a 9.75, tied up, squared, tied, rolling.
Speed bump, hope it's just a bump in your trunk, making your head move to the groove. It's so smooth. Every time I hit the beat, words and words will have to repeat. It's so hard to take a seat, burning my feet on the hot concrete. I'm not finished, I'm incomplete. Rapping on the main street, hoping like a main street. Stuck up in the daydream, maybe.
So I like to make poets feel uncomfortable sometimes. I used to work with kids a lot, and then I would do poetry with them in a program I developed called Express to Speak, and I'd like record, right? And I'd let the kids see themselves on video so that they could see themselves doing their piece back. And I was joking with I joke with kids a lot, and I'm like, yeah, this is being podcasted to 1 million people across the world. The look. So right here, we've got a tie for first and second right here, so this is our 4th round. Flip and see who's going first here, and who's going second.
Heads.
Who had heads? Yeah. So you had heads of who's on first? What? Who's on second? So you make the decision then, right?
Shortstop.
Okay. Oh, so you make the decision. You going first or second?
First, I guess. Yeah.
I forgot that I had some words from our other sponsor. Yes. So you going first? Sure.
We need some noise, please. We need some more noise, please. Just a little bit more, 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 just a little bit more.
This is called Honestly. I was not born in hardship. I have 2 loving parents, 3 brothers, a few close friends, and family that extends far beyond blood. I have a home to call my own. I was born gifted at music. I'm good at math. I have 2 stable jobs, and I'm in college with little debt. I can't swim, and I'm afraid of bees. I spent a few months in the 1st grade homeless. I was bullied in elementary and middle school. I failed junior year English. I was diagnosed diabetic shortly after placing a national taekwondo competition. I will never intentionally hurt anybody. I give until there is nothing left for myself so that others may be blessed. Honestly, I do not believe that I am worth nearly as much as others would say I am. Honestly, despite my best efforts to craft myself into something beautiful, when I was being molded as clay, I was not soft and wet as meant to be, but instead God let me dry too long, and I broke where I was made to bend. I was left uncovered and thrown in the kiln to bake. What emerged was a rough shape with a rougher surface. Honestly, I did not mean to be so fragile. I may not be as soft and smooth as glass, but sometimes I break just as easily. Honestly, I still tried to hold the image of a man, but I maintained the resilience of a child. Honestly, I tried to hold as much water as I can, but I still cry. Maybe being bold is just a front to hide inner quiet. Maybe, honestly, the only reason I speak is so I don't have to listen to myself think during the silence. Honestly, I'm sorry if I'm soft, but a hardened sponge becomes so when it absorbs water. And as such, I will not fall from purpose if it means bleeding myself dry in order to be rock solid. Honestly, I'm sorry if I am a disappointment by not taking up a sword, but instead think that using my tongue is a better way to win wars. Honestly, maybe all men weren't created equal, otherwise I would not be left with diabetes and insulin shots in order to stay alive. Honestly, maybe where others live, I only survive. Honestly, I've lived most of my life feeling the need to do absolutely nothing but apologize. Honestly, I think I do a pretty good job at donning my disguise. Honestly, in every argument, I find that I am the one who will end up in compromise. Honestly, the reading of this poem should actually come as a surprise because honestly, most of the things I say about myself are bold-faced lies. Even though at times I may think misery of myself, at least other people's lives are made better, and all I need do is sell you a smile, ask you about the weather, because maybe the compromise of my joy at times is what will bring other people together. And honestly, if that's the end result, then I have no problem with being me. Honestly.
Give it up for Austin.
Honestly, this brother right here is the quintessential future of masculinity. I feel we're in good hands. I don't even know if I use quintessential right. I have a tendency to use words like, and my dad always used to check me on that. Because they have a pretty extensive vocabulary, but you don't use your words properly.
So give me just a little bit of noise here for Nicole. Just a little bit more noise for Nicole!
I dislike small talk. Okay, let's say for the sake of argument that I hate it. Loathe it, cannot stand it, to the point I wanted to jab some pointy sticks it in my ears and press hard, not caring about the damage done, because at least then I wouldn't be able to hear it anymore. Or whatever. But I have this mindfulness practice that shows me that these small dislikes I have mean there's work to do, so I've observed myself and others a few 100 times in moments of chatter, banter, introductions, meaningless words, filling up space, and talk about the weather. Do you think it's gonna rain? Well, I heard there's a 70% chance, but I also heard it might snow. Oh, God. I hate driving another one. Maybe it'll blow over and miss us. I mean, it is pretty windy out. That's true. The clouds are moving pretty quick, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, the sun is shining now, but I bet like any minute it'll be totally miserable out. Okay, and what I've deciphered is that small talk actually has its place. It can be important, and more than filler taking up space is how people connect. Albeit surfacey with questionable subject content, but still it's a start. Small talk can be a gateway to a friendship of the heart. I mean, we have to begin somewhere, for Pete's sake. Closeness takes time and is in the effort we make to get to know someone else, to see them clearly as an extension of ourselves and let them in, to do that dance together, that waltz of being human. Of course, sometimes small talk is just that and yields no further elaboration of words, but it's still a way for people to collaborate together, if only for a moment. If we don't seize this chance right now to connect, however slight it may be, we're neglecting a precious opportunity to change the world. One smile, a few kind words, and an open heart are enough to unfurl us within. Small talk could be a superpower. We could all be saved by a small talk man with like a cape and maybe some kind of scepter. He could fly around joining us all together. Look, everyone, have no fear. Small talk man is here. Hello, friends. How are you? Where are you from, and how about this weather? There he is on the subway and the bus, the long line at the market, and the waiting room at the doctor's office. It's all in the way we look at things. We can live a life of loving or a life of hating. It's up to us which direction we walk. So I'm working on enjoying the purpose, the exchange, the subtle art and nuance of small talk.
Give it up for the poets here. We're just going to tally these here real quick and figure out what the scores are. So we'll just plug my son's music just a little bit more here.
In the AM, looking at the morning birds chirping, looking right now and up, so I'm lurking. My mama making breakfast in the kitchen, hurry fast, gotta finish the rhythm with the rhyme, and the rhyme I'm flipping. If you don't, then I float.
I want to give it up to the Montana Festival, Montana Book Festival. It's changed up a little bit. Support it. Check it out this weekend, tomorrow, Sunday. So you all want to hear these scores? That sound, it was really interesting the way I said that. Are y'all ready to hear the scores? Are you ready to hear the scores? The guys, yeah! Hey! Anyways, give it up for yourselves and give it up for all the poets. With a score of 9.5, give it up for Nicole. Nicole, please come to the stage. And with a score of 10, give it up for Austin. Give it up for your winners of the 2015 Montana Book Festival Poetry Slam. Give it up one more time for your 2015 Poetry Slam Montana Book Festival winners. And give it up for yourselves for supporting poetry tonight, please. Thank you.